Okay, welcome to another quick shop talk. Just a little midweek one. It's the last day for me today, maybe tomorrow, of the kind of long days and the 5-day week. I do still have orders, but I want to kind of pace myself now, so I'm going to slow down, have a bit more time with my family. I'm still editing the videos, obviously, which takes a lot of time, so that's going to keep me occupied. But I kind of got to the end of the pressing projects. Still got 2 in the pipeline, 1 project which I'm going to be doing starting in a week and a half's time, something like that. I mentioned the table, it's in the kiln at the moment. And anyway, I just thought I'd bring you a video because I've been playing around with my new Wagner meter and I absolutely love it. I mentioned it on a video when I was talking about the kiln or whatever. I love it because and I spoke about apps. If you guys watched it, I was asking about your favorite woodworking apps or shop help apps. And I just realized how much I'm using this thing all the time. So I thought I'd run through, I've got this Merlin. This is a really good one as well. This is what I had used before. I do love the color LED, but then again, the battery runs out all the time. But this, you don't worry because you're just firing it all to your iPhone, just storing it under the client's name or the slab name or the slab number and just watching the thing. So this has been a game changer for me. Less paperwork, no putting notes in my iPhone, all that stuff. And this is one, this may become my field one. It's a bit expensive for a field one, but I can stick it in my pocket. This used to be my field one when I was out looking at slabs in yards that were kind of air dried, just to see how much further they had to go. So I thought I'd run through it, and other than the, because this is the top of the range one, other than the ability to beam to your iPhone, I want to show you what the extra depth, which is the reason I bought this. It was nothing to do with the iPhone originally, it's to do with the depth. And it's really interesting. So come and have a look. This slab here also is quite interesting. So this walnut slab has been in my home kitchen, driving my wife mad, for probably just under 2 years. And it's in the kitchen. There's a boiler in the kitchen, a wooden cabinet, and like an MDF sort of cabinet to make it pretty, so old boiler. And this has been leaning against that MDF cabinet for almost 2 years. It is not that's switching itself off. It is not been kiln dried, this is air dried. And I had another piece, unfortunately I've sold it now, it's a shame, but I did some tests, but I should have showed you. I had another piece which was kiln dried. And what is interesting is both these 2 pieces, this is air dried and the kiln dried, both come or ended up after 2 years at exactly the same moisture content, which was pretty cool, showing that you don't really need to kiln dry it, in an industrial kiln anyway, to use it. And I've got many tables and resin and not resin, which are not kiln dried, they are air dried. And with the right moisture meter, you can pour resin on air dried tables, no problem. I've got them unsupported, I've got no C channel. I'll show you a picture of one here that's been around trade shows, it's been in my kitchen, been in my conservatory. You've seen the build, I'll put a link. This is reversible. It has no C channel inserted. It is not connected to the base in any way, and it is flat as a pancake, and it is air dried. Obviously this will change in different climates. I'm talking about England. I'm in the Midlands. I used to live on the Isle of Wight in the south. So, the south and the middle, I've not found any differences. So here in the UK, certainly where I live, it's been no problem. But let me just show you, just a quick video, just show you these meters in case you're on the market for buying one. Show you the differences. Okay, so the first thing to point out is there's a sensor here. Now this Merlin has a target, which is pretty accurate. I'm not exactly sure. I think this one's a bit more general, which is pretty good to be honest. But for this test, it's going to be hard to get exactly the same. So I'm going to put across that size. I'm going to put these prongs on it, I'm going to put this little target on it, and I'm going to put the center of this on it. Now, we'll go with the Merlin first of all. I've set it to G5, I've got a little brochure thing, this is English walnut, that's what the setting is. So we'll go with the Merlin, and we'll put it on, see if you can see it on the screen, and you can't. Okay, hopefully you can see that. 7.7, so I'm going to write M, 7.7, take that away. This does eat batteries, so I'm going to turn it off. I think it's the backlit LED that eats the batteries. This is your kind of cheapo. I'll try and find this. I bought this years ago. It's just set to wood or brick. So I'm going to put this on there and fire that in. That's telling me it's 5.9. If I turn it the other way, $5.9. So this little meter is saying 5.9. So I'm just going to write, I don't know what that one's called. Something B. 5.9. Then we go to the Wagner, my new favorite. Let's make sure you can see what's going on the screen. Yeah. So now, first of all, we do the depth. We go to the shallow depth, put it right over it, and we're getting 7.5, 7.4, 7.9. So you can see it's quite, it's just 7.7 right there, and that's what we got. So we're getting the same reading on the Merlin as we are the Wagner, 7.7, okay? So we put W for Wagner, 7.7. So this is already giving us a bad reading because it's reading so shallow to the surface. Absolutely nightmare. And I know these things aren't cheap, but if you're selling tables that are pretty expensive or furniture, drying it is crucial. So this thing's kind of gone out the window. We don't expect much. It costs about 30 quid. Let that switch itself off. Now, this is the big difference and the game changer. We can see that says 7.7, and we know that that read 7.7, the Merlin. Now, if I change the depth, and now we're getting 9. And that is the crucial difference. Hopefully you can all see that. So aside from this being absolutely epic with the iPhone, and I am going to do a full video on this shortly coming up, just to keep us all amused during lockdown, you can see the difference, and that is really why I bought this meter. So if we look at this slab is 50 mil, 52 mil. So by running a meter, and that's average for me, and my tables, finished tables, are about 40 mil. So by running this meter, which is 3/4 of an inch, I wish it was in metric, which is 20 mil for us in the UK, this thing is going to between 10 and 12 mil. This is going almost double. So by running this on the top and on the underside, you can basically ping everything on this, but a couple of mil in the middle. And that's going to be a good enough guide. And I absolutely live by this meter now. I love it. If you're not into your iPhone syncing, which I mean, it's not even difficult. You just switch it on, hit go, and it fires it over, as I showed you in a previous video. It's just awesome. So I just kind of wanted to share that. I was just doing experiments. My wife finally said, get this slab out of the kitchen. And it was in there for an experiment, but it's 2 years. And it came down from 18%. It might have been between 18 and 21%, the chalks come off. It went from 18, 21% air dried down to 7, or as we can see at the middle, 8, which is basically, the same as a kiln dried, and basically what we're going to find in the UK, where we are, most people. I dry most of my wood for somewhere between 8 and 10% is fine for your resin and fine for furniture. But you can just see the difference of that extra depth. It is a real game changer if you're doing this, especially if you're doing resin, fine furniture, and you don't want kinks and buckles and stuff. So hope you enjoyed that. Real quick video. I'm enjoying, it's the end of this hectic time for me. I am a little bit, I think we're all worried. I've had a few emails from some other makers and woodworkers and stuff. We're all very worried, and I feel for everybody. I've just decided to have another one on my Rui beers. Cheers, Rui. And just do this, and just thought it might be something a bit of fun. So thanks so much for watching. The giveaway's coming up on the wood, I think this weekend, and I've sorted out nearly all the blast gates. That's coming up as well. It'll be a giveaway for that as well, shortly after. Thanks a lot. See you later.